Welcome to The Explainer. This week, there's one story that has the entire financial world talking, and that's the absolutely record-shattering super rally in precious metals.
Okay, let's just jump right into the numbers because they are staggering. Gold futures didn't just break records, they completely demolished them. We're talking a stunning new peak of over $4,500. It's a figure that has the market just buzzing.
But here's the thing. As amazing as gold's new high was, silver? Well, silver delivered a truly incredible weekly surge. We're talking over 14%. That's its biggest jump in years. This wasn't just a rally, folks. It was an absolute explosion.
So how did we get here, and what does it all mean? Well, we're going to dive into this spectacular performance. We'll look at the historic rally itself, gold's powerful trajectory, and silver's shocking surge. Then, we'll try to read the market signals and figure out what happens next.
All right, Section 1, a historic metals rally. This past week wasn't just good for precious metals, it was genuinely a historic performance. It really underscores the relentless strength of the bull market we're in right now.
And this illustrates the dynamic perfectly. We saw this incredible 1-2 punch. It wasn't just gold leading the charge, or just silver. It was both of them, moving with unbelievable momentum. And that signals some really widespread investor interest.
Okay, let's dig into gold's powerful trajectory. The yellow metal has been on this remarkable journey, and it feels pretty much unstoppable, breaking not just price records, but some serious psychological barriers.
I mean, look at this. In just 1 week, gold jumped almost 4%. That's a gain of nearly $170. It's the biggest weekly leap we've seen in over 2 months, and it's the move that smashed it right through that key $4,500 level. And you have to understand, this wasn't just some random fluke. It wasn't a one-off event. This timeline shows how it's all been building. The rally really started 8 weeks ago. Then, 3 weeks ago, the current winning streak kicked into high gear, and all of that culminated in this week's all-time high. It's a story of sustained momentum.
Now, to really get your head around the sheer scale of this move, just look at this number. Year to date, gold has added almost $1,900 to its value. That's a 72% increase just in 2025 alone. Wow, that really puts the power of this bull market into perspective, doesn't it?
As impressive as gold was, let's talk about silver's shocking surge. Seriously, while gold was making all the headlines with its new record, the real shockwave this week, that came from silver. The momentum was just even more remarkable.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Look at this. Market professionals, right? The people who stare at these charts all day long, they were using words like stunned to describe what silver did. This quote perfectly captures how unexpected and how powerful this surge really was.
Okay, let's break down these numbers, because they are historic across the board. The weekly dollar gain over $9.50, that was the biggest ever in the history of the silver contract. The percentage gain, the largest we've seen in over 4 years. And look at that closing price. It's now knocking on the door of that next big psychological target, $80.
And just like we saw with gold, this incredible strength in silver is built on solid, consistent, week-over-week buying. This move makes it 5 straight winning weeks. It's gained in 7 of the last 8. You see the pattern here? That's not a fluke. That is a powerful, powerful trend.
Okay, so let's try reading the market signals. The big question is, what's the technical health of this rally? Is it sustainable, or is this just a flash in the pan? Well, a lot of the key indicators are suggesting this rally may have more room to run.
So to figure out where prices might go from here, we have to talk about a key concept, resistance levels. The easiest way to think about them is like a ceiling. It's a price that an asset has had trouble breaking through in the past. So when an asset, like gold, just smashes right through a major resistance level, like $4,500, well, that's seen as a really bullish signal.
And when you look at the bigger technical picture, you see multiple signs of strength. First off, the fact that gold is holding above that $4,500 level, that shows real, strong demand. Then you've got the RSI, that's the Relative Strength Index. It's trending up. All of this is happening in December, which is usually a strong month for metals anyway. And maybe most importantly, the physical and futures markets are trading in sync. That tells you it's a healthy market.
All right, this all leads to the big one. What happens next? With these massive moves in the rearview mirror, analysts are now laser-focused on the key price levels that could define the next phase of this whole rally.
For gold, the path forward is starting to look pretty clear. Now that it's cleared 4,500, market technicians are looking at the next 2 major hurdles. First up, the $4,700 target. And just beyond that, you've got the major psychological barrier of 4,800.
Silver's story is pretty similar. A lot of analysts are zeroing in on that $80 level as the next big test. But it's also really important to remember, after a move this explosive, a 14% jump in a week, it would not be surprising at all to see the price take a little breather, maybe consolidate for a bit, before it decides on its next move.
So when you step back and look at this truly historic week, you see this incredible tale of two metals. Each one had its own amazing, record-breaking performance. You had gold with its steady, powerful momentum just marching to a new all-time high, and then you had silver with its shocking, absolutely explosive momentum delivering the largest weekly dollar gain in its history. Just incredible.
And all of this leaves us with the big question, the one that every single investor watching these markets is asking right now. Did we just see the creation of a new, higher floor for precious metals? Or are we standing at a dramatic peak right before a major pullback? Well, the coming weeks are certainly going to tell the tale.